Welcome back to Grade 8 Geography, Unit Number 1, Global Settlement, Patterns and Sustainability. This is Lesson Number 5, Where do People Live? Population distribution refers to the patterns of how people are arranged in an area. People are not spread evenly across the Earth. This is because only 29% of the world's surface is land. And as you can see, this world map shows the irregular pattern of Earth's population distribution. Which parts of the world appear to have the highest populations? So just think about the number of orange and red dots you're seeing in certain areas. Consider whether the darkest areas perhaps represent the uh, most densely packed populations. You can put this video on pause just to take a look at this map because we will discuss this question in tomorrow's class. There are four main types of population distribution. Scattered distribution means that people are spread out across an entire country. In a country with a scattered distribution, communities may be far apart. In order to get to work, a hospital, or another town, a person would have to drive. Clustered distribution means that people are grouped closely together in specific locations around the country, with large parts of the country almost empty. Clustered distribution patterns are seen in wealthy countries where many people live in major cities. So just to point out here, you see all these houses constructed very close to each other, and yet here we see entirely open green spaces. Linear distribution means that people are all grouped in a line along a border, a transportation route, or a body of water. Peripheral distribution means that the population surrounds a major feature like a mountain, a stadium, or a body of water. So here we see an example of linear distribution where the houses are set up like nice uh, rows along, we've got body of water here, but also along a major transportation route. And here we've got peripheral distribution, which means that uh, the houses are tightly packed together, but they're all surrounding this raceway here. Population density is a measure of how many people live in an area. We can calculate the population density of a country, continent, or city by dividing its population by its land area. So here's a formula. Population density equals population divided by the area. For example, Australia's population is 19 million people. It has an area of 7,682,000 square kilometers. So we'll use our population density formula, population divided by area. We're going to plug in the population and the area of Australia. And when we divide, we see that the population density is 2.47 people per square kilometer. Each country has its own population density, but they are broken up into three main categories. Countries with few people and a large area have a sparse population density. Countries with many people and a small area have a dense population density. Countries with moderate population densities fall somewhere in the middle. So let's take a look at this map of Canada. Which parts of Canada do you think have a sparse population density, a more moderate population density or a dense population density? Put this video on pause. Try answering this question because we will go over it in class tomorrow. Here's a table which shows examples of each type of population density. So just to be more specific, sparse means that there are less than 15 people per square kilometer. And examples of that are Australia, Canada, and Mongolia. Okay, moderate means between 15 and 150 people per square kilometer. And examples of moderate are Brazil, China, and Nigeria. And then dense means more than 150 people per square kilometer, with examples being Israel, Singapore, and the United Kingdom. Settlements are created at a particular site and may grow over time. They may be created for agricultural, trade, transport, industrial, political, or spiritual reasons. Settlements can be as small as one house or as big as a city. Urban planners use what is called a settlement hierarchy to compare the sizes of different settlements. The smallest settlement is called a hamlet and consists of less than 100 people. We can see a hamlet in this picture here on your left. A village has at least 100 people. A town has at least 1,000 people, while a city has at least 100,000 people. The largest settlement is a megacity, which has up to 10 million people. Here's a pretty good example of a megacity on your right. So here's a question that we can talk about tomorrow. Would you prefer to live in a hamlet, a megacity, or something in between those two? Why do population patterns matter? Well, governments need to know the population density and distribution in order to make sure that there are enough services such as education, healthcare, law enforcement, and transportation. They need to know where to build schools and bus routes. Knowing population patterns also helps the community decide how to use and preserve its natural resources. Also, looking at population patterns helps us compare different parts of the world and understand the issues that different parts of the world are facing. Okay, so to wrap up, I'm going to read these questions to you, and then you're going to put the video on pause so that you can work out your answers to these questions. And yes, for these ones, you are going to need a separate piece of paper. And yes, we will definitely go over these in tomorrow's class. So here's the first question. Give one example of each type of population distribution that we can see in Canada. So we're looking for scattered, linear, and clustered. Here's question number 2. The population of Bryanland, yes, Bryanland, is 45 million people. The area is 5 million square kilometers. Calculate the population density and state which type, sparse, moderate, or dense, it is. Now, you may want to go back and watch this video another 1 or 2 times before you try this activity. But when you feel confident, please pause the video. And until tomorrow's class, this concludes today's video.